Hello and welcome to Customer Experience Leaders Chat. My name is Craig Stoss. I'm here today with Tom Ronan from Monday.com. Thanks for being here, Tom.
Thanks for having me, Craig. Very excited to be here.
Excellent. Tom, why don't we start with just a little bit of introduction about yourself, your team, and your company?
Sure. So I manage our customer success team, which basically consists of two different components. One is the customer experience side of things, which is the customer support operation with supporting our scaled communication with our customers. And the other side of things is the customer success, where we're talking about the interaction with our larger accounts and full-on classic customer success management, you can call it, more high touch. We are roughly 75 people globally. I've got the team in Israel, a smaller team in the Ukraine, and also a larger team here in New York. I should not forget our remote team over here in the States as well. We provide 24/7 coverage overall, and we have basically around 55 people in frontline customer experience roles. The rest are in leadership positions and other enablement operations positions as well. That's talking about the customer experience side of things.
Very cool.
About myself, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
About myself, real quick. I've been with Monday.com for the last 3.5 years, growing from 25 people to 350 as a company, and seeing insane growth with that company. Been with customer experience at the beginning, and then we grew the customer success piece later on. That's real shortly about myself. Originally from Tel Aviv, Israel, hence the accent. Moved to New York a couple of years ago to open our New York operation, which has also grown from myself and 3 other people to around 90 today, in different roles here in New York, client-facing sales, customer success, and customer experience.
And for those that are listening that don't know Monday.com, what does Monday.com do?
Sure. So Monday.com is a work operating system, and basically it's a tool that allows you to take information from multiple other information sources. This can be your ATS system, marketing tools, email, all the different tools that serve different departments within your business. Put all of that into Monday.com, where you can manage different workflows using our Monday.com boards, anywhere from task management, project management, resource allocation. So you would take in that information, manage the project management aspect of it, but also dashboard information and visualize it in a nice, easy, clean way. It helps teams move fast, make decisions on the fly. And actually, it's a tool that people enjoy using since it's so visually pleasing. So we're seeing amazing adoption across anywhere from small teams of 5 to teams of thousands of users in large tech companies and non-tech, all over the spectrum in terms of business verticals, basically.
That's a good solution and a very wide breadth of as a product. We'll come back to the product in a second, but you have a small but very diverse team in the sense that, as you said, 24/7, 3 or 4 offices, remote employees. What were the main challenges that you have tackled as a team recently?
Yeah, sure. I think for us, one of the bigger challenges is that our company in the last 3 years went from roughly 6,000 paying companies to 100, and looking at the dashboard, 102,000 paying companies, supporting around 500,000 active users, and the growth has been exponential. So the ability to deliver the amazing customer experience that we strive to give throughout that growth has definitely been the biggest challenge for us. The product is changing and growing consistently. Our customers' needs are evolving. We want to do more and provide better service. And as that is basically exploding, to maintain the same SLAs, the same quality of answer that we give, our customers has been the biggest challenge, basically.
And in order to maintain that high level of service, how did you determine what those important factors were to your customers and how to scale those specific things?
Yeah, very good question. It's a tough question, but we use, I guess, a combination of qualitative and quantitative data points. We triage customer satisfaction scores, the CSAT surveys that we send out, with time to respond, location of customers, type of question, and looked at how these factors affected the CSAT rating. It helps us understand what is important for a user, what is not. And we also obviously read a lot of these reviews around what is important for a user. When did users responded in a very emotional way to the service, positively or negatively? And looking into type of question, time to respond, and overall time to resolution, I would say, helped us understand what is give or take important for our customers. One of the more interesting things that we've actually implemented and tested was to give the user the ability to state when an answer to a question is urgent. We had basically a drop down. Our users can pick whether they want to get an awesome support speed or a drop down, a radio button that said, drop everything and answer me. That basically gave us a good understanding of what is the level of support the user is asking for. The funny thing is that we saw that 15% of all the users that interacted with that radio button actually put in drop everything and answer me. I will say that our SLAs are pretty good. At the moment, we've got two different priority levels. One would be your urgent tickets and the other one would be the normal tickets. Urgent, we aim to answer below 10 minutes and we're hitting that goal. And that's around 50% of the ticket volume that we have. The rest are below 60 minutes. And over there, we're also pretty much, depending on the week, but hitting our goals for sure. And that also was another layer for us to understand what is important for our customers. We actually have that information now. What type of tickets our users are asking for to be answered swiftly, as opposed to, you've got the time and just provide me with awesome support.
Yeah, that's something that I think a lot of support teams struggle with is the priorities and definitions, and in some cases can lead to arguments about what is a critical versus a non-critical. Was there any abuse of that you saw from your customers, or was it pretty accurate and pretty not abused and to try to get a faster response or to jump the queue?
So there's right now the way that it's are we seeing abuse? I assume so, but I think it's bottom line when we're talking about customer experience is all about that meeting a level of expectation that somebody puts in there. When a user picks drop everything and answer me, what does that actually mean? What is that person's expectation? We answer now within 9 minutes, maybe that person expected 30 minutes. And so what we've done, basically the components that we have for our prioritization is that the end user would pick the priority. That's one thing. Another thing would be a sentiment analysis. So we use a machine learning app that helps us understand the sentiment of the user. So even if they put in awesome support, but they're pissed, we'll detect that and prioritize their question. The third piece is the level of the user. So basically the plan that they took, which is a piece of that. It's not the major one. We do want to give our enterprise customers that additional priority support. And other things that we prioritize by are the type of questions. In that case, it would be a machine learning app that would detect a login issue. We start with keywords, then moved it to machine learning, and now or critical bugs that we identify. So we think that the machine learning aspect of understanding what is critical via sentiment and also type of ticket, triaged with letting the user pick that, and also kind of the more business enterprise users receive that priority support, gives us a pretty good holistic understanding of what is urgent. I think bottom line, it's pretty subjective. Each business is going through this problem, and each support leader is going through this problem of you're going to sleep at night, you want to make sure that urgent issues are being addressed, and now defining that urgent piece. Is it ideal? No. We continue to iterate on this process all the time and improve it, but we're pretty pleased with what we have now, and that really helped us with making sure that our customers that have urgent needs are getting answered. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I think that's a fantastic approach, allowing the customer to set the urgency based on their perception versus some arbitrary definition of how you define an urgent issue. That's a pretty unique approach based on, my experience. So, it's good to hear that that's working and your customers are satisfied with that. There are a lot of dimensions you mentioned there between the machine learning and the tagging and the sentiment analysis and the customer level. What initiatives made that made that possible? What did you do in order to ensure that your support teams had all that information handy to them in order to drive that level of service, that excellent service?
Yeah. So in terms of initiatives, I would say that I think first of all, the number one thing is that we operate in a 24/7 follow the sun model. Once you have that in place, it allows you to provide a different level of service. I definitely urge support leaders to go there when you're not always chasing your backlogs. And the second that we implemented the 24/7 model, we were like above the water, you can say. The second part is the voice of the customer. Basically, every CX agent tags every ticket that's coming in with in two layers. So what is the type of question? Are we talking about a gap in the product that the user did not understand? Are we talking about a feature request? Is it a bug? Is it a billing issue? And so on. And then another layer of tagging where we would talk about the area of the product that is. And so this allows us to understand specific areas in the product. We see the majority of tickets coming in are feature requests as opposed to an unclear product, quote unquote, where the majority of the questions are how to, and we are able to provide a support article to quickly cover that need. I would say other initiatives that really helped us there was a lot of the one-to-many programs that we've implemented. Community forum and a webinar program that allows us to basically onboard users at scale. Pretty much. Oh, and another initiative that we've had above the basically understanding the voice of the customer and understanding the gaps within our product to be able to lower the amount of support tickets, reducing handling time. So the amount of time it actually takes a CX agent to answer a ticket was key for us. So we took all of those tags and basically we understand which tickets take us a lot of time to answer. And then we started to develop a custom application that we use Zendesk as our solution for the support side. And we basically created a custom application that is embedded within Zendesk that allows our agents to see all the CRM information, customer success data, and also access the back end of Monday.com for that specific user and run specific actions. So our customer experience agents don't need to exit Zendesk in order to do most of the operations that one would, grant different features, understand where the customer is in the customer journey, and do a lot of other actions that really helped us reduce the handling time. It was a significant development effort, but it is something that I definitely urge support leaders to look into.
I mean, I completely agree. That's something that I have always been a big advocate of, is providing support with better data, better context in order to answer questions. The fact that you've built it into your CRM tool, your case management tool is fantastic. What are the specific positive outcomes you've measured or observed after doing all of what you've just talked about? Like what were the key things that came out of that as far as business outcomes?
Sure. I would say business outcomes on the support side. First of all, we managed to reduce the amount of incoming tickets per subject, stabilizing our average handling time. That was key for us. Another thing I would say is we've noticed that the customers that actually interact with our support team have increased their engagement and are coming back to interact with our customer experience team over and over to get answers. And that's really, for me, this is key. With Monday.com, the majority of our customers are smaller teams, smaller businesses that in terms of the customer success approach, in order to make sure that these customers are successful, we cannot have a dedicated customer success manager there. So having a customer experience team that kind of acts as that assigned customer success manager with every support ticket coming in, it's not just about solving an issue, is making sure that the customer knows that they have a resource that they can tap into 24/7, no matter what, and get an answer if they want within 10 minutes around specific aspects of our platform or best practices and so on. So seeing an increase in engagement and improved conversion rate for a trial user to paying, and as well as the renewal rate for these customers that actually engage with our customer experience team.
I mean, what fantastic outcomes for you. I mean, the enabling your support reps, giving your customers control of priority. These are all initiatives that I think absolutely improve the customer experience. Tom, I really appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us. I hope this information has been useful to our listeners. Thanks again, Tom.
Thank you, Craig. It's been a pleasure.